Good afternoon and welcome to Muskegon Rotary. My name's Jenny Sprague and I have the privilege of serving as president for this Rotary year. Our theme for the month of May, for the foundation is youth service, and we're going to be celebrating some of those young people today. Because our program, we will have the privilege of hearing the winning speeches from the top high school students in this year's Law Day 2024 competition. The theme for this year is Voices of Democracy. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a reflection from Andy Below, and we will recite the four-way test at the end of the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Andy, I didn't mean to pull you off the line there.
It'll still be there when I get back. At least I hope. Greetings, everyone. What a full house we have today. That's wonderful. I'm going to pull this reflection from a number of different sources, so I'm not going to tell you what they all are. If you have questions, you can see me afterwards. But I don't want to take credit for these beautiful words. My name and yours, and the true name of the sun, or a spring of water, or an unborn child, are all syllables of the great word that is very slowly spoken by the shining of the stars. One great word spoken by the shining of the stars, it reminds me a lot of Om, the single syllable from which the universe is created. Both are just ways of conceptualizing a foundational fact of living, that there is only one whole, that we exist within a system that includes every degraded human act and every beautiful one, every blade of grass and every mountain, that shines and snaps and varies like the surface of the sea or of Lake Michigan. We as individuals contain it all. We hold within us the potential for the greatest good and the most dreadful evil. We know intuitively how each feels because there are lines traced between us and everything else. As one of the quantum physics scientists said, you can't have a thought without influencing everything else instantaneously in the universe. Even a thought about others or a judgment of others affects society in ways that we don't understand yet. One poet says, our thoughts are also our prayers. Let them be for the good of all. A subatomic particle is in relation to the wave from which it comes. We are localized expressions of the wave of divine energy from which we come, whether we call that wave God, which is only a nickname after all, because there really is no word for it. And if you can't believe in God as a person, perhaps you can believe in this instead. The entire mesh of existence binding us together in ways we perceive only if we listen. Each of us is a particle of this greater entity. Each one of us contains it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. That was lovely. Please sit down, enjoy your lunch and some fellowship. We'll resume the meeting in 15 minutes at 12:20. I hope you've had some time for some good fellowship. I know it's never enough, but we have a fun day planned for you, so we're going to get going. As I mentioned before, May is Youth Service Month, and we have a video to share with you that talks about a particular area of youth service that Rotary International does.
My name is Leanne, I'm 17 years old and I live in Wigan. I'm interested in law and politics, and ever since I was 14 years old, I was always interested in changing the world. We can see in schools a lot of people and certain groups are being prejudiced, or there's a lot of stereotypes against them, and I just want to educate young people and bring about peace and just celebrate those differences really. When I put myself forward to become a youth MP, I thought I'm all about changing the world, and I don't just want to bring about positive change within my community, but the whole of the UK and for every single individual. It all started working locally with head teachers Then it started regionally, working in like Greater Manchester with the Mayor. And then nationally, of course, where I went to the House of Commons.
Young people in families struggling with food are more likely to...
It was about standardisation of food and a campaign on free school meals. It was life-changing. And then it went even global, internationally, where I presented at a global youth conference with the National Youth Agency, all about helping tackle inequalities within the workplace for young people. We were given from the government £300 million to distribute to marginalised communities who are in need. And that was within the UK. And it was just such a fantastic achievement. One person who really, really motivated me was my history teacher in Year 9. But most importantly, I think it's my parents. They've always taught me to always, stand up for moral issues. And I think another very important thing would be my religion. I think, my religion always teaches us to help those who are in need, to help those who are disadvantaged, and just be kind and spread love and kindness, really. Being recognised as a Rotary young citizen feels like a great achievement, and I'm really happy and really excited, to be honest. I have big hopes for the future, can't deny that. Maybe become an MP one day. I mean, who knows, might be the next Prime Minister.
I really love that. It speaks to the universality of our young people, their dreams and ambitions. And I just thought that was quite a charming video, and it certainly lines up with what we're going to do today. At this time, I invite anyone who has a guest or is a visiting Rotarian to please come up. Emily is here to assist you, and we are looking forward to meeting your guests.
Yeah, come on.
Somebody has to be first.
So as typical, Nolan has invited like half the room, and so he I need a pinch hitter, and he didn't want to ask Gary Nealon, so he asked me. Told you, be ready. No, it's my pleasure to introduce John Van Wyck. I mean, I'm sure pretty much everybody in this room knows who John is, but he has been an awesome person in this community. Obviously, former JC. A lot of JCs in the room. They were just telling a whole bunch of JC stories. I wish I was a JC back then. I'll tell you what, guys bringing cases of beer and whatnot. But no, but John and I get the privilege of being a part of the radio program on Tuesday mornings, and what we always like to do is the Law Day. After the Law Day competition, we bring the winners in to do their speeches on air, and this year, again, didn't disappoint. So John is a guest of John Noling, actually. So don't charge me, charge Noling. And it's awesome to have him here. So welcome, John Van Wyck.
Former Muskegon Rotarian.
Former Muskegon Rotarian. That's right. That's right.
Thank you. Welcome, John. Any of the pink marks here, and then you'll see yourself in the screen.
So Law Day, yes. Great guest today. My good friend Larry Wolfarth, past Rotarian for many years in San Clemente, California, lives on Wolf Lake right now, half and half, 6 months there, 6 months here. He's all about what we're going to hear today, and I want to welcome Larry. And Kristen Renas is the Social Studies Coordinator for the Intermediate School District, has been very instrumental in helping coach and promote Law Day throughout the schools in our county. So welcome Kristen Renas and Larry Wolfarth.
Emily, great to have you here. Welcome.
Hello, Muskegon Rotary. Please welcome my guest, Ben Wickstrom, who serves as President and CEO of Earhart Construction.
Oh, welcome.
I have a special guest today, is my daughter, Celestine. Celestine is now a junior at Michigan State University. There you go. She is double majoring in criminal justice and psychology, and she leaves in 2 weeks to go to Poland to study cybersecurity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Safe travels. Welcome. Can we pitch in here? Cuddle up, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is V. Boringa, and I have the privilege of having some of our Law Day senior contestants and winners, as well as their parents. We have Tequila Aubrey, we have Ben Oliveira and his daughter Adeline, and then we have Michaela Assad and her mother Joy Assad here today. Thank you.
Thank you. We don't have student guests this week, but we will have some next week, so we can look forward to that. Mike, could you please share the photo before I introduce our speaker? This is the radio station that they were talking about with John Van Wyck and our students. We thought that was a pretty cool photo that we wanted to share it with you, so thank you for that. V, if you'd like to come up and get us started on the program, that would be just great. Thank you.
Hello again. Like I said, my name is V. Boringa. I am a family court referee, and I have also been chair of Law Day since 2019. Law Day is a national day set aside to celebrate the rule of law and remind all of us how law and the legal process contribute to the freedom of Americans. President Eisenhower declared the first Law Day in 1958, and since the 1980s, Muskegon County Bar Association has celebrated Law Day in partnership with the community as well as Muskegon area schools. I would also like to thank our Muskegon Rotary, Whitehall, and Montague Rotary for being part of our sponsors, as well as our fellow Rotarians, Bob Skolnick, Muskegon County Clerk Karen Bowie, the Honorable Jenny McNeil, and the Honorable Annette Smedley, as well as Muskegon County Prosecutor DJ Hilson for being our Law Day judges. I really appreciate you guys giving your time and being there for the students today on Law Day. The 2024 Law Day theme is Voices of Democracy, recognizes that in democracies, the people rule. For nearly 250 years, Americans have expressed their political views and wishes by speaking their minds and voting in the elections. In 2024, the United States will be holding its 60th presidential election, and Americans will address the fundamental questions about democracy and the rule of law. Our 9th through 12th grade high school students throughout Muskegon County were given the following prompt to provide a 4-minute speech. Democracy thrives on the voices of its citizens, and the rule of law serves as the foundation for a just society. In a speech, explored the essential connection between the voices of the people, the rule of law, and a functioning democracy. The prompt was, how is the essential connection between the voices of the people and the rule of law leading to a functioning democracy? And we have our second place winner for the seniors, Adeline Oliveira, who's going to give her speech first.
Thank you very much for having me today. The rule of law is the foundation of our great democracy. Aristotle first laid out the rule of law in his book, Politics. The rule of law holds all people and organizations accountable to the same set of laws, meaning that no one can act in a manner which is above the law. Aristotle posed the question, is it better to be ruled by the best leader or to be ruled by the best laws? This is a question that plagued our founding fathers when they sought to form a new constitution for our new nation. We now know this debate as the Federalist and Anti-Federalist debate. The question at hand was whether or not to ratify the new US Constitution written by James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay. Some believed that in order for the government to function, it needed to have a stronger, more centralized power. Others, the anti-federalists, believed that giving the government power without explicitly stating the rights of the people would lead to the abuse of power and the violation of the rule of law.
She was in it for like 40 years.
George Mason was one such anti-federalist. He could not, in good conscience, ratify a constitution which did not hold the government accountable to the rule of law. He used his position as Virginia governor to author the Virginia Declaration of Rights, the Virginia Bill of Rights, and the Virginia Constitution in order to uphold the rule of law and protect the citizens of his state as much as he was able. It was not until the Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution that George Mason and other anti-federalists were willing to ratify the United States Constitution. Our founding fathers fought to protect the rights, liberty, and freedom of the people by upholding the rule of law, and they used the voices of democracy to do so. We must build upon their example. The many voices of our democracy must uphold and protect the rule of law. We must speak and act in a manner that holds all who's accountable who seek to be above the law. It is a beautiful paradox that the rule of law does not bind or oppress us. Instead, it protects us and it guarantees our liberty, and it gives a voice to the people of our great democracy. We must continue the fight. We must use the voices that democracy has given to us to protect the rule of law from any onslaught. As former New Jersey Governor Christine Todd Whitman explained, democracies don't have a longevity history, but we have a chance to save this one now. And that means that we have to speak out and we have to be active. It is true that most democracies do not last as long as other forms of government. Venezuela, Hungary, and Turkey are just a few examples of failed democracies. And there is always one common factor between democracies that do fail. This is that the rule of law is neglected, and in turn, the voices of democracy are ignored. Let us learn from the democracies of the past and from their mistakes. Let us embrace the rule of law and see the voices of democracy as being essential to sustaining our great nation. Thank you.
I know you're all thinking, how can you top that? But just keep waiting. Our next speaker is Michaela Assad, and I just want to say that she has two older brothers who have also competed in Law Day in the speech contest, and both have placed. Her older brother, Levi, and then Luke. And Levi was actually third place in the senior contest, and our senior judges actually told him that they were by far one of the best senior class that we've had. But I'm pretty sure, as Michaela is just a freshman, sure she's going to blow both of her brothers out of the water. So next up, Michaela Assad.
George Washington once said, "The basis of our political system is the right of the people to make and to alter their constitutions of government." But does this quote still ring true today? After reviewing the evidence, one might see that this statement is no longer accurate. I believe that the voices of the people and the rule of law do not currently lead to a functioning democracy because underage workers are being forced to pay taxes without representation, and gerrymandering and lobbyism are repeatedly being utilized throughout this country. Currently, underage workers are being forced to pay taxes without representation. We need to remember that one of the main reasons for the founding of our great country is because the colonists were frustrated by taxation without representation. Workers under the age of 18 are paying 2% of the total taxes in the United States. Why are they being forced to pay taxes if they're not allowed a voice in the government's policies and leaders? A possible solution to this would be to lower the voting age to 16. This idea has already been discussed by legislators. Gerrymandering is another obstruction towards implementing a properly functioning democracy. It frequently leads to the underrepresentation of United States citizens of color. It also hinders the will of Americans to vote and causes them to feel as if their voices are of no importance. Additionally, it creates biased election results and causes the political race to be less ambitious. In the 2020 redistricting cycle, gerrymandering allowed for the Republican Party to have 2 extra seats on average over the Democratic Party. Another disadvantage is that politicians become complacent because they do not feel that their seats are being threatened by their political rivals, and therefore do not feel the need to carry out the will of the people who put them in that very office. Lobbyism is another concern in the American voting system. Politicians often consider the desires of powerful lobbyists, while the needs of the common man are neglected. Approximately 72% of adult Americans believe that there should be limits on the amount of money lobbyists can spend on political campaigns. With funding limits put in place, elected officials would be better able to follow the desires of their constituents. This would help support and reinforce the rule of law. Within a democratic country, the rule of law is a state where citizens elect their leaders, and the government itself is held accountable by the law. The law should convey the will of the citizens, not just the people or the companies who pay the most money towards political campaigns. People are only willing to obey the laws when they believe they had an influence in the making of the laws. Justice is easiest to achieve when the laws are made by the very people who must follow them. The United States has always been thought of as a democratic country, and its functioning democracy depends on the rule of law. Even before our country was formed, the colonists knew that the laws should govern the people, not individuals such as kings or queens. As Thomas Paine said in his booklet entitled Common Sense, in America, the law is king. The rule of law can only thrive in the United States when citizens believe that each person has an equal voice, and that corruption within the voting system is non-existent. Therefore, representation must be equal for all, and the utilization of gerrymandering and lobbyism must be abolished. It is only once these obstacles are removed that the voices of the people and the rule of law may produce a functioning democracy in our great nation. As Sonia Sotomayor declared, I firmly believe in the rule of law as a foundation for all our basic rights. Thank you.
And she's just a freshman. Finally, we have our 12th grade senior speech contest winner. And I have to say about this young lady, she had her entire speech memorized, didn't have any cards, didn't have anything. And we were talking about how long it took her to memorize. And she said, I just started the day before. So I'm not sure how that works, but I'm very excited for all of you to hear her speech, Ms. Kayla Aubrey.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Takayla Aubrey, and I'm a senior at Muskegon High School. As a member of this upcoming generation, I need to tell you all today that we have to start focusing on educating and listening to our youth way more than we currently do. The First Amendment landmark case that discusses students' freedom of speech, Tinker versus Des Moines, has already shown us that what students have to say matters. And in my speech today, I'll be talking about just that, student voice. I want to bring to your attention how it helps contribute to a functioning democracy, give some ideas on how to allow more student voice, and also share some poll results about where student voice is today. The main two problems we have when it comes to student voice is that our youth either isn't educated, isn't heard, or both. A youth survey conducted by the Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement showed that over half of youth surveyed said that this country is going in the wrong direction. 16% said the opposite, and 28% were unsure. It also showed that 76% believe that young people do have the power to change this country, and 77% believe there are ways for the youth to get involved. Another survey conducted by the same research center showed that 50% of 18 to 29-year-olds voted in the 2020 election compared to the only 39% in the previous 2016 election. These results show our students want to be heard, we want to make a change, and we believe we can. And as far as the 28% who are unsure, that just shows the need for better education, the need for allowing these students to form these perspectives to make decisions based off of. We do have a lot to say. A few weeks ago, I participated in Jobs for Michigan Graduates annual career development conference, and students got together in different groups to talk about a real issue and come up with solutions for it. My group won first place, and we won because we see these issues every day. We already have ideas and solutions on how we solve them. We just need to be heard. With this big election coming up, we need to bring in new and different views and opinions. What do our citizens who turned 18 since the 2020 election think about this upcoming one? That's something we have to start asking. I propose to change up our curriculum to include more current events and debate classes and/or forums. Give students the opportunities to have these face-to-face debates so they can learn the proper skills to an actual 50-50 debate where both parties are heard. Nowadays, with all the disconnection and over-talking we have in discussions, learning the proper skills to one is more crucial than ever. I also propose to start up online and/or paper school newspapers about school, community, and world current events. Not only will this help spark student interest, but it'll also lead to more youth engagement, such as voting. It'll lead to new and different perspectives being developed, and overall, more student voice. And I know some would disagree with my proposals and bring up things like money and time, but if it's about money, then at least it's money well spent that'll benefit the future of our democracy. And if it's about time, then just think about the state of our democracy right now and how it's changed over the years. The sooner we make some beneficial changes, the sooner we can see some benefits. I urge you all, when you leave here today, to take a stand. Students, talk to your peers, talk to your families, see what they're thinking and let them know what's on your mind. To the teenagers and anyone else who didn't vote last election, please go vote. Your voice matters. To the parents, tonight, spark up some conversations during dinner. We have to start educating ourselves and each other and using our voice as a whole, and we have to start today. In the famous words of Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Thank you.
Dave Alexander from the program committee here at Rotary. Wow. As someone who has covered politics in this town for decades, who has a degree in political science, wow. The best and our brightest. And I'd like to have them each, first off, give us a little indication of what you do in and outside of school and what the future might hold for you after high school.
So for me right now, what I currently do in and out of school, I'm taking like my regular senior courses, and then I'm not taking it anymore, but I was taking a MSU teacher education class, and then a Muskegon Community College sociology class. And then I've also been tutoring our sixth graders in math as like aside to that MSU class. Outside of school, I'm also in the HBCU Club of Muskegon, so I do a little volunteering with that, as well as with the National Honor Society for the school. And then, yeah, I work and a few other things, but yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. And then my plans after high school are to start at MCC to continue with the credits I already have, and then transfer to a university. I also plan to get engaged in like entrepreneurship, esthetician. I have business plans already planned out. Teacher education, I want to stay involved with the schools and the community. So yeah, got a big plans ahead of me.
Well, since I'm a freshman, I don't have a lot of stuff as she had just said, but inside school, at least, I am a vice president in my class. But for outside school, I do a lot of sports. I do club soccer, and I also do soccer for my school, which is a co-op right now with Muskegon Catholic, and I do basketball on the varsity level and volleyball at the varsity level. I also just recently got into YAC, which is a community foundation to help Muskegon, and now for future plans, currently I want to be a dermatologist, and hopefully I'm trying to get into college in Florida, and hopefully be University of Central Florida, but that's really it so far.
So I am currently finishing my senior year through a program called Veritas Scholars Academy. It's a classically based program, and I'm in my last couple weeks of that. Throughout high school, I have been very involved in my local church community, which is New Era Reformed Church. I've also been very involved in community athletics, including the local Muskegon YMCA swim team. In the fall, I will be attending George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia, where I will be majoring in physics and where I will also be on the varsity swim team.
Finally, one question from the podium for each of them. From your perspective, what is the most important challenge or issue facing Muskegon County today as you are in high school?
Me personally, I say that the way money is managed, that's really like not in a good position, like situation right now. So I think the biggest issue would be money management.
I would say, at least for the youth today, is mental health, really, and that's what I would say.
I would say that unfortunately in the state at large and also in Muskegon, taxation is a real burden to the average family and really hinders the average family.
Are there any questions from the audience? This is a smart group of young women. They can take it. Anybody want to ask a question? See, you sewed it right up. So, well, thank you so much. If you could show the hand wash slide, please. As a thank you to our student presenters today and to V, we are going to be making a donation to Hand Wash. That is the Haiti National Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene Initiative. It's a project of Rotary District 6290. So you're impacting young people farther away from you in Haiti, providing for clean waters. Thank you very much for your presentation today. We really appreciate you coming. Thank you. We are ready to celebrate some birthdays. So first up, Susan Holkeber and Amy Hosford. Happy birthday to Dave. Yes. And then Doug Brown, May 11th, Lysandra Gaddy, May 14th, and Arn Bodzart, May 15th. So happy birthday to all of them. And for their present, I don't sing, they give us $10. It's a real deal. And that $10 goes to our Caring Connection. Next, we are ready for our spotlight video for this week in May.
My name is Christy Pollack, and I have been a part of Muskegon Rotary Club. I joined in 2021. I decided to join Rotary because I wanted to give back to the youth the opportunity that I had at 16 years old. And I do not remember the individuals in Muskegon Rotary Club who helped pave the way for me to go abroad on exchange. But that doesn't matter. I remember who they were and what they did for me. So I want to do that for the kids of Muskegon now. They don't need to remember my name, but I want to give back in full circle of what was provided for me at that age. So that's why I joined Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm currently the youth exchange officer for our club. And starting next year in 2025, I'm moving into a district role, and I will be the District 6290 inbound coordinator starting next year. I usually get the question of why do you give so much of your time and energy towards the youth exchange program? And I usually answer in the same way. I feel that gratitude is not monetary or being professionally driven or successful. I feel that gratitude comes from the faces and the smiles of the youth when you are a part of paving their path to their momentous, lifelong momentous moment. And for me, that's gratitude. And giving back and seeing them grow. I feel that the youth are our future. So, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Christy, you're in the running for best backdrop to your spotlight video. So, especially like the blue stuffed animal up there. We are ready for some announcements. Next Thursday, May 16th, we return to the Lake House. This is our summer home until November, unless it isn't, but you know, that is the plan. They keep switching it up on us, but we're planning on it. Rewind does not meet this evening. This week's Muskegon Rising podcast is number 18th, not to be missed. It's with Dr. Rem Sprague. Shameless plug. Discussing a new dawn for mental and physical health in Muskegon County. Please see the link in the Rem, or you can find it on buzzsprout.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Isn't that what they say on TV? So we have a congratulations to offer here to our own Lisa Krause. We're very proud of you. Chamber Ambassador of the Year, Lisa Krause. Woo! Congratulations, Lisa. I hope they know that we are proud of you too. So thank you. Our district conference took place last weekend. The display out in the hall was one that we had there, along with trees from John Noling's plantings. This photo was taken of our group there. You can see us all. For voting at district, it's you get one vote for every 25 members. So we actually had 10 votes, and we all got to vote. And one of it was on a dues increase, so sorry about that. Next up, we also were honored to receive a recognition for our generosity to the Polio Plus campaign. This is for the 22-23 year. If you remember, we did a Brave Rotarian contest, and all the proceeds went to Polio Plus. Plus your raffle proceeds also go to the Polio Plus. So we received this recognition. On a humorous note, I was supposed to get a banner for us with it, and they handed me the wrong banner. And that one was for 100% participation in every Rotarian every year. And I said, you know that we didn't get this one. But we're working on it. So thank you for that. Our Party in the Park is coming up, as you know, and we need to have people volunteer for the TIPS training, which is just the training you get to know how to handle serving people alcoholic beverages. And it's online, and we need 10 people, and Rotary will pay for it. You do not have to pay for it, but we need volunteers. All of those of you who have already signed up for Party in the Park, thank you for that. But if you would volunteer for this, you will be ever so enlightened on how to handle this if somebody needs help. So thank you. We appreciate that. Please see Andrew Cutler to let him know. And as I said, we still have need some volunteers for Party in the Park. So sign up early, sign up often. You know how it goes. On behalf of our social committee, Tim Lipan asked me to let you know that on Sunday, July 9th, I thought it was June, but I guess it's July, there's a Rotary Clipper carload party, takes place at Marsh Field, and the gates open at 3:00, and rain date is to be determined. Admission is for everyone in your car, and it's pretty much the way we've done this. If you do need more information, do talk to Tim, since I'm winging it, as you can tell. Well, this says July, but we haven't, let's plan on June then. Okay. And again, check with Tim. At this time, I invite Christine Robert and Sarah R.S. to come up and make an announcement.
I didn't try to follow it today. You are just fine. All right, so I typed my announcement up because I just didn't want to forget anything. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Maddle and United Way have teamed up to do a series of events next weekend to shine light on mental health and physical health, right? Which are tied. So first, we just want to thank Rotary for your support of these efforts. We were awarded United Way was awarded a $5,000 grant, which was then leveraged by other community sponsors to bring in nationally known author and motivational speaker, Christine Dierclay. Are there any Peloton people in the room? Oh. So Christine Dierclay, she's the original instructor for Peloton. She's coming. She's also a 15-time world champion cyclist, and she is an author. So she's a big deal. So next Friday, the 17th of May at 6 p.m., she will be at the Muskegon Museum of Art to talk about, her motto is I am, I can, I will, I do. So she really talks about the power of self-talk as a tool of self-care. So this is a free event, but you have to register. Information is on your table. It's filling up quickly. I think there's, Kirk, is there 200 seats in the auditorium, wherever Kirk is? Yep. And I think we're at like 170 already, so register quickly. And then immediately following the talk is the United Way is hosting Dinner with Dierclay. So Christine's going to talk about that.
Very good. So this is a wonderful partnership, and I have to give credit to Ron Sussick, the executive director of Maddle, for this idea. He said last August, what if we move the ride to May and really tie it to Mental Health Awareness Month? And I said, it's so fitting, because when United Way did our surveys last year regarding the community needs, 93% of those surveyed said mental health is the #1 issue in our community. And I heard it from one of our youth today. And so it was just seemed the right thing to do. Let's do this, have this opportunity in May. And then I got to be on the call with Sarah and Ron to meet Christine, and she is phenomenal. I was ready to get up and go right away. She's very motivational, but that power of self-talk, I'm just really looking forward to that. The dinner afterwards, so we've invited people, encourage sponsors and individuals to raise $500, and so if they raise $500, then they will get a free spot at the dinner. We also are offering some seats, so on the registration site, you'll see you can purchase a seat as well. We're really encouraging people to get online and start fundraising, because we want to put all the dollars, all the proceeds from this event to support behavioral health, mental health programming in our community. And the tie-in the next day, Christine is pretty excited, so she's agreed to ride the 100-mile in record time, I think, because she's got a plane to catch. But so she and Ron will be leading the ride off. So she'll be sharing a few words in the morning. We're going to start at 8 a.m. and we're going to at Heritage Landing. We're going to ride up the trail up to North Muskegon, up Scenic Trail. Those that are doing 25 miles are going to do a turnaround at Pioneer Park and come back. The 50 milers are going up to Whitehall and coming back. And then those 100-mile riders are going all the way up to Silver Lake, Golden Park, and coming back. And they will all end then at Heritage Landing, and probably the last one will be in at least at 2 o'clock, but some of them might straggle in a little bit later, depending on their skill level. I imagine she'll be well on her way to Grand Rapids to get on a plane by then. But also, this is a partnership with the Muskegon Bicycling Coalition. So those of you who are involved in the roll-on rides on Monday nights, they're going to plan a community ride. So, and that's free to sign up to go on the community ride. So I hope you'll join us for minimal if you do that. They're the bicycle shop in Lakeside, and I know, do you still have some bikes for loan that Rotarians could get a bike? So one of the partnerships, the bikes are at the Muskegon District Library, and you can just borrow a bike for the day. So if you don't have a bike, don't let that be your excuse. Come try it out. Anybody can do the roll-on ride. They haven't told us exactly where they're going to go, but it'll be around Muskegon, and they'll probably pass by the murals and talk about the community, and that's always a fun thing to do. So get involved, because it raises money to support mental health programming. It raises awareness about the mental health of our community. This ride started 12 years ago as part of our effort to get people more healthy. And we've seen many success stories of people having a positive impact on their own health, quitting smoking, improving their weight management with getting more active. So there's just a lot of good benefits to all of us working together to celebrate the importance of our mental health and our physical health. So join us May 17th and 18th. Sorry, so long.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's yours. Thank you so much for that announcement. We hope that you guys will support that. I had a correction come in from the crowd. The Rotary Clipper game is Sunday, June 8th. So now I stand corrected again. I think you should check the rim. We are ready for our raffle. Eric, are you still with us? Oh dear, what are we doing first? $10. I'm going to ask you every time because I have to. 030. Oh, there we go. Mr. Rupert, congratulations. So what's next, Eric? Is it 5? Oh, 20 next. Okay. Zero 78. Oh, Kathy Brubaker Clark, congratulations. Yeah. First round's on Kathy. And for $5, 074. Oh, there you go. Mary Beth. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone who participated. As I said, your money goes to a good cause, helps Polio Plus, and also helps the Caring Connection. Next week's program will be presented by our Interact Clubs, and if you will rise, we'll recite the 4-way test. of the things we think, say, or do? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a good week. Create some hope in the world. We are adjourned.